Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I'm doing a little homework on the Hawks, and I'm not sure if I want to make the Hawks video tonight since I got a little bit of a crunched schedule in the morning. So my video probably won't come out till like 3 hours before the game starts or something like that, depending on how early I wake up in the morning. So yeah, I haven't made up my mind yet, but I've watched about 3 games of highlights on the Hawks, and they're really good, man. At the end of the day, they're really good. They got like 4 players that look like they could be brothers out there. Light skinned bros going up and down the court, just playing both sides of the floor. It's really, really athletic stuff going on in Atlanta, man. They're on to something. And it's not a good time for our team, who doesn't have a whole lot of athleticism, who's still going to be missing Austin tomorrow, to face them. So I'm just penciling this one as a loss. I wouldn't be upset if we rested Braun, rested AD, rested everybody, because we do not have the athletes to actually keep up with them in the way that we've been playing. There's no way we're going to. I'm just being honest, man. This is a Max Christie game. You know, this is a game for guys like that. Max, what's his face? Max Lewis, Max Christie. That's the type of athletes you kind of want to be going up against these people, man. Slow-footed guys. I don't see them having a real strong outing tomorrow, man. Onyeka Okongwu's out there, Clint Capella's out there. It's a lot, man. The Hawks are deep. Trent, obviously, they have superstardom. Trae Young, and their role players are fantastic. That's what I'm finding, and they're healthy for a change, which is giving it even weirder dynamic when you're considering some of these guys have been on the Hawks for years, but now they're all healthy at the same time, like DeAndre Hunter and Bogey Bogdanovich. So, yeah, that's a loss, man. Unless the Lakers come out with a certain intensity about feeding AD and he goes off, this is a bad matchup even when we're not playing bad ball. That's really what it comes down to. Just need athletes to go up against a team like this, man. And we don't have them. Unless we use them. You know, that's what it really comes down to. Unless you want to throw Max Christie out there, Dalton Connect, Max Lewis, Quincy Olivari. You know, use your athletes and you'll have them out there. If you don't use your athletes, you want to go with Gabe Vincent, hey, good luck. And that's just something I want to say, man. We've been having situations, I've been noticing this throughout the course of us struggling, where I guess they call it help the helper. I don't know if this coincides with that phrase or not. That might be a specific phrase, but in this situation, if a guy is boxing out and he gets an offensive rebound, he gets out off. If for some reason he's outboarded on the possession, and maybe you get a block shot after that underneath the basket, the person who's supposed to get that ball, in that live ball, often finds themselves being too small, is essentially what I'm trying to say. On missed shots and live ball situations under the basket, where a guy has to help the defensive player who is rotated to guard the basket. Even if we get the block shot, that person who's going to be helping the helper, or help whoever's helping on the other end, the other team's guy who's supposed to be picking up the loose ball that has been blocked, that person often doesn't have anybody boxing them out. And in more than one occasion, we found ourselves with Gabe Vincent being the guy who's supposed to be stopping people in those situations, however that rotates, and he's never boxing out, and he's never big enough to actually do anything any damn way. I just really think we'd be better for phasing out Gabe Vincent for a number of reasons, but none more than he's just too small out there in these matchups we've been going up against. I know I didn't explain myself very well. I'm not a basketball mind. But at the end of the day, in these loose ball scrums, after block shots or missed shots where we're supposed to be boarding, he's just not helping the helper. He's not boxing out, and he is getting rebounded over. And I've seen it happen about 3 or 4 times over the last several games. And I just find myself saying, why is this coach continuing to use this player when he knows damn well he's not helping him on either side of the floor? I know people think he's a fantastic defensive player, but that is overstated to the maximum, in my opinion, because he's just too small to be guarding people anyway. He may keep up with him laterally and all that, but he he's getting shot over, man. Half the time they have him guarding people that are 6'5", 6'6", 6'7". It's ridiculous, man. The dude's like 6'3", 6'2". I mean, it's just not real. That's not accurate as it pertains to him being a fantastic perimeter defensive player. I mean, he may be able to keep up with people, but if you're on the perimeter, you got to be able to contest the shot, and he can't. He's getting shot over. So, yeah, man, that's something that I just want us to kind of shore up by putting a bigger player on the floor so that player could be Max Christie. Because if that player is Max Christie, he's going to get the board. If that player is Dalton Knecht, he's going to get the board. If that player is Max Lewis, he's probably going to get the ball. If that player is Jalen Hood-Schifino, he's probably going to get the ball. But if that player is Gabe Vincent, it's not happening. It's not happening. And so that's my point of view. I just don't think we are giving ourselves the best chance to match up in a lot of situations. Size is so underrated in this league, and we do not have ourselves using the proper size to match up with a team like Atlanta tomorrow if we go this route. So yeah, man, I butchered that description, but I hope people understood what I was saying. I hope some of y'all remember the plays that I'm referring to. It's been more than once, man. And you know, those are important possessions. So that's something that I've been pointing out. I do like that. It looks like Gabe Vincent is getting in fantastic shape. That's what I'm noticing. He's becoming more active because he's just getting in sharper shape. And I know he's working hard on his conditioning. You could see it. So I wouldn't be surprised if assuming he doesn't have a setback with his health, that he's in phenomenal shape by the end of the season, for better or for worse in regards to his production. But I expect for him to be a really top conditioned athlete if he continues doing whatever he's been doing, because he's taking care of himself and shows. So yeah, man, I do think that slowly but surely we're starting to get something out of Gabe Vincent. I'm not gonna lie, he's been better. The measure is low though, as far as what we expect from him. So that he gives me 7 points is like an upgrade. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But I still want us to bench him. I still think that we're better without him in certain cases. It just is what it is, man. And I would like to see us use the Max Lewis a little more, Max Christie and Jalen. Just bigger people, man. Jalen Hood-Schifino, for all the stuff that people talk about with Jalen, one thing that stands out with me in regards to Jalen is how well he offensive rebounded a particular rebound a few days ago. With the minutes given, one of the first things he did was pull down a strong offensive rebound, and I just think that his 6'6" frame and his length is something that we can really utilize. His speed and his ability to play some defense is something that really needs to be utilized as well. He's a bigger Gabe Vincent with passing ability, essentially. The same threes that Gabe Vincent is missing are the same threes you would expect Jalen to miss. Like, the same way Jalen's, Gabe is trekking out to the three-point line trying to defend people. Same stuff I'd expect Hood-Schifino to do, man. I don't know that you wouldn't get more production from Hood-Schifino just in general, as little production as you've been getting from Gabe. So I just think we're doing things the wrong way. And I think a 6'6" point guard who can make people better is something that we really need to utilize. Even if people think he sucks, they haven't seen enough to know. And I've made this argument a lot lately. But in the minutes that I've seen, these are the things that he's doing wrong can be shored up. Commit a harder foul. You know, take care of the basketball a bit better. That comes with reps. Like little stuff like that. And so for me, I think we're missing a golden opportunity in this road trip. Maybe it's because he rolled an ankle or something. I don't know. He might have been injured. But I really think we need to be utilizing the young fella tomorrow. I think we need to be utilizing all our young fellas tomorrow. And it's not because I think they give us the best chance to win necessarily, but more so I just think what we naturally have gives us no chance to win. The players that we have in rotation, they can't keep up with Atlanta. They're not going to be able to. But our young guys give us a better shot. So that's my attitude, man. Dalton Knecht, he's a rookie, but he's an older rookie. 2 points, unacceptable. I need him to show up, man. I need Dalton Knecht to show up. I understand that the team is crumbling around him. Guys are acting weird. Old guys, pretending to forget how to play basketball for whatever reasons, however that's going. He needs to step into his confidence. If you could give me 35 in Phoenix, if you can give me 35 against Utah, there's nobody you can't give me 35 against as far as I could tell. You should be able to give me 35 in Atlanta. Literally. And I just want somebody on this team to have the confidence to do that besides Austin Reeves. So Austin Reeves seems to be the only alpha out there as it pertains to I'm going to get mine. I'm going after it. And if I score 100 points, it'll be because I launched 100 shots. Like, that's Austin's attitude. I don't particularly appreciate when he's inefficient, but when he's gone, you come to understand that if you don't have him out there doing that, this is what you look like. Because ain't nobody else on this team will really go after it. Ain't nobody on this team really gonna bring the aggression to the game. AD ain't in that zone. Bron is old and tired. You know, it's just, and D'Lo's slow and sometimey and you know, whatever that is that he brings to the table. A lot of times looks like sarcasm to me or whatever. It's a cynicism, I guess, that's attached to D'Lo. That I don't know what the heck. But he's been playing a little better lately, so hopefully he's slapped out of his slump. But just in general, I don't expect athletic, you know, hard running and, you know, boxing out and physicality. I don't expect that stuff from those personalities. Those people are not like that. And it's a golden opportunity for a guy like Dalton Knecht, who has the talent to actually take over and the explosiveness to actually dunk on somebody, to really, you know, just say, hey, man, I want it. If you guys don't want the ball, I want it. You know what I mean? And for him to only have 2 points in the last game, it's a slap in the face to his talent. Just like I feel like with Anthony Davis, with him having 8 points, is a slap in the face to his talent. These guys are way better than that. Way better than that. And I just feel like at 23 years old, Dalton Knecht should be a bit more confident and a little more assertive than the average rookie. So I'm calling him out. Your last performance, even though everybody else was playing just as poor in its own bubble, is absolutely ridiculous. You know, push aside everybody else who ain't playing. Why aren't you playing? You weren't here last year. You don't have the, you know, the Darvin Ham hangover, so to speak. You don't have the Denver Nugget hangover. Why in the world are you only scoring 2 points with your talent level? Somebody got to do it. Somebody call out the rookie. You're not 20 years old like Jalen and these guys. You're a grown man, bro. And you got the talent to take over. So for me, I want to see Dalton Knecht walk away with 30 points tomorrow, man. I really do. I think we need to feed him from behind the arc in his spots. I think he needs to be, you know, run plays for like he's a star. Because our stars ain't showing up. Our role players, they're not there. And that's just what it is. He's the best player on the team, not named Bron and AD. I've been saying that since the beginning of the season. I've been saying that since the draft. And I believe it. I really do. And, you know, Rui Hachimura has been hitting shots, but, like, you know, you got to have some aggressiveness to you if you're a guy like, you know, Rui Hachimura. Guys can't just be demanding that you give them the damn ball when they hot, but then when you hot, you cool with them just taking shots and they cold as hell. You know, I would throw that same phrase back at LeBron James that he threw at me. Swing, swing. I would. When I've only missed like 3 shots in the last 2 games and he's missed 25 of his last 26 threes. Brother, give me the ball. You gonna throw that nonsense at me? I'm throwing it at you. I'm hot. You ain't hit a shot since you said that to me. Give me the ball. And that Rui Hachimura is not wired that way. Is unfortunate for our basketball team because he's the only one to be able to hit a damn shot out there. Everybody else ice cold or not shooting at all, just like him. So I don't know, man. I can get on Bron and AD for not showing up and whatever, you know, funk they're in, whatever demons they were trying to work through. But some of these role players, y'all too passive for me, man. Y'all too passive. Y'all embodying the same spirit of AD, capable of going for 30, but only comfortable with going for 10. I don't understand the passive nature of this basketball team from person to person to person. You know, it's just not just the stars that have this problem. Even these role players, they all like kind of easily pushed over. mentally. It's ridiculous how many people we found with that personality trait and put them all in one bunch. Like, are you targeting these type of psychologies? You know, is what I'm asking a guy like um, uh, Rob Pelinka. Like, is this what you looking for? Because you surely found a way to put all these passive people together, bro. Literally, it's absolutely and utterly absurd. You know, so it's no wonder now I have to look at Austin Reaves and say, man, all them conversations I was having before he got hurt about how he was overshooting and how he was being aggressive and missing shots, and I just wish he would diversify. Them people don't want the ball. They don't want it. It's clear to me now why Austin's like that, because he know they like that. And had I had that in my head, I probably wouldn't be as upset with his aggression. So that's really where my attitude is. It's shifted a lot since he went down with injury, because now it's like, man, I wish he was out there chucking shots up. At least we'd have some aggression going on. At least we have some passion on the damn floor. Everybody else is just waiting for somebody to beat them, hoping the buzzer beats them worse than the score does. It's absolutely ridiculous how bad this team is acting right now. Passive they behaving right now. So, you know, I just wanted to put that out there as well. I've been going through the motions in regards to this team, listening to different talking heads, and you know, it's at the end of the day, at the end of the Timberwolves game, you thought that you couldn't get any worse. And then they went into Miami and played horribly. When you scoop back before the Timberwolves game, we had the Utah game, which was absolutely embarrassing, and I can't believe we're actually accredited with a win for that garbage. Before that, OKC. Don't even remember how that game went, but I'm certain we lost. But it was not memorable is key. I barely remember it. The games before that, San Antonio. Okay, you're happy that you won against San Antonio. Great. Before that, we had the 3-game losing streak that was one of the most embarrassing stretches of basketball that I had seen up until that point. So for me, it's like we ain't really been playing well in a while. We really haven't. We ain't played well in a while. And it's that we're continuing to create new lows for ourselves that makes me wonder if tomorrow will be an even lower than that. Like, we lost by 41 in the last one. Will it be 50 in this one? Like, that's what I'm wondering. I'm legitimately at a space where I'm wondering if they're going to be worse tomorrow. So that's my thought on that, man. I want this team, you know, the stars. I had a prep talk video that I made earlier today that I want people to see. But this is about the entire collection and unit. Y'all ridiculous with how passive and how soft y'all been playing, man. Ridiculously passive, yo. And it's unnecessary when you got players on your team that from player to player can all go for 30. Rui can go for 30. Dalton can go for 30. AD can go for 50. Bron can go for 50. It's like, come on, man. But y'all walk away with an 80-point game? I don't know, man. People just too soft around here for me, bro. I don't get it. I'm not wired that way. I never was, to be honest with you. I don't know what's going on. But I was never wired like these dudes. I'm just not, man. So that's one thing I want to talk about. Another thing I want to talk about is the narrative going around about how, you know, after 25 games, we need to be, firing J.J. Redick, just like people was trying to fire Darvin Ham. I would ask those who are following that narrative, do you believe that Darvin Ham and J.J. Redick have been given the same amount of time to do the job? Because there's a hell of a difference between 25 games and 2 years. Like, does that matter at all? Or is that not something that comes into your equation as you're forming that opinion? That's what I have to ask the people who are pushing that narrative. It's like, a lot of people want to push the narrative that there was absolutely nothing wrong with Darvin Ham. But, unfortunately enough, I have an entire channel full of rants after basketball games directed at Darvin Ham. All of the proof of Darvin Ham's incompetence is on my channel. So for those who are pushing that narrative, just go back and watch 2 years worth of Laker videos. I didn't miss a single game in the last 2 years. Just about every game Darvin Ham ever coached, I had a commentary before, halftime, and afterward. All of the games, both the years. So for me, I don't have the privilege of following that narrative because I paid close enough attention to the team to know how frustrating it was night after night after night while he was coaching the team. So that's really what it comes down to. I would love to follow your narrative, and I would have maybe if I didn't follow the team as closely as I did. But that I did. I directly look at stats after the game. I looked at the rotations. I commentated on stuff while it was fresh in my mind every single night. The man was tough to watch coach this team for 2 years straight. For different reasons, both years. Different reasons, y'all. It came together for him to be one of the worst coaches, if not the worst coach we ever had. Yes, he was a black guy. I'm a black guy too. I understand the narrative. Maybe there is some merit to, white guys having more privilege than black dudes when it comes to the coaching ranks overall. But when it comes to this specific job with that specific man, calling out the racism is like a cry out of wolf. And when racism really comes around, people are not going to want to hear you because you running that narrative to just simply so you can discredit LeBron James and point out certain things that you want to point out in regards to narratives that you have that ultimately allow for the propping up of Darvin Ham. And that's a real thing, man. And a lot of these folks, they're saying that on their channels. And if you pay close enough attention to them, you understand that they're not serious. They're not serious. They're running a narrative, just like ESPN will run a narrative, just like Skip Bayless will say he hates LeBron James because he knows you're going to click on that. And so that's what I want to say. I'm a fan of some of these people that push narratives. I'm very entertained by these narratives, but I don't want people to actually think these narratives are real, man. Not when it comes to this conversation. Because I'm hearing people echoing that narrative, and I know what they've been listening to because I've been listening to it too. It's a lot of fun, but it's not serious. We are not firing our brand new coach after 25 games because we ultimately fired our last coach after 2 years. Simply because the last coach was black. That's craziness, man. Darvin was not great for us, man. He had some things about his coaching that I didn't hate. I thought some of his assessments of what was wrong was spot on, but his approach to fixing problems did not work. They didn't work. The stuff that he tried to do when a problem was found, some of those things were really, really, really uncalled for. He identified a problem just fine. Fixing the problem didn't work out. And like I said last night in my video, I think that one of the reasons why that is because the politics and the suppression of not being able to hold people accountable, of not being able to do things freely, probably just wore him out. And I feel the same thing about Frank Vogel. Years after we fired Frank Vogel, I've been able to assess that, that presence, that politic cloud, as I like to call it, probably just wore our coaches out. It made them crazy, basically. It made them crazy, and they stopped finding solutions, and they couldn't seem to work around it. Okay, that's exactly what I think. And I think both of those coaches and the ineptitude that came with them was a product of that. And my evidence of that is that things got progressively worse the longer they stayed in that space. Frank Vogel wasn't bad till near the end. Darvin Ham got progressively worse as the time progressed. Till the end, he was horrible. It just is what it is. That's how these coaches have been handling this Laker thing, this Bron AD thing. They get progressively worse. So that tells me something's deteriorating them. It's pulling their focus away from what they need to be focused on and distracting them in such a way to where they can't even focus any longer. That's what I think happened to both of those coaches. I think the same thing could potentially be happening to JJ Redick right before our very eyes. But it's not within my opinion that we fired JJ Redick because he's starting off the same way that Darvin Ham started his second season with the team. And I'll tell you right now, I would have fired Darvin Ham after the first season. I felt he stayed too long. The Lakers gave him way more time than I was saying we should. So the idea that he got a raw deal, or that that players were wrong for calling Darvin Ham out, y'all go back and listen to some of my rants. I was putting them up to it. If they followed me, I was the one on the internet telling people, yo, we need to speak up and get this coach out of here while you let things get bad. They did exactly what I wanted them to do. AD did exactly what I wanted him to do in calling out the coach. Get him out of here, because the front office obviously ain't going to do it until you guys speak up. You understand what I'm saying? Those who follow me close enough, and I know I have some people that do follow me, that have followed me this long, you know I'm telling the truth. Ain't nothing about that Darvin Ham thing go any other way than I would have wanted it to go, other than it went too far. They fired him, and rightfully so. His performance was no good. This is what it is. If he was a black man, white man, Asian man, Hispanic man, nothing changes, bro. Nothing changes in that regard. Could the Lakers have handled certain things better? Yeah, not having that political cloud that they seem to forego making good decisions for in place of. It's something that shouldn't be there. You would get a lot better performance out of your coaches and your players if that crap wasn't in place. If you wasn't doing things backwards so that people can feel special and stick around. That stuff is ruining the whole franchise from top to bottom. So, yeah, no, it's everybody. Anybody that otherwise created that political cloud. Clutch, LeBron James, anybody that catered to that being what runs our organization is why our performance has been so poor. Because it's the cloud that hangs over everyone's head, making the game much difficult for everybody to do their jobs. And people haven't performed under that pressure very well. And it's unnecessary pressure that hasn't yielded us results of a championship. So it shouldn't be in place anymore. But as far as me being able to identify that people aren't performing and that they need to get the hell out of here, yeah, I'm not going to apologize for that or think that somebody's wrong for agreeing with me on that. Or calling out the organization for firing somebody that I think they should have fired sooner. What the hell are we doing? Now, the conversation around JJ getting the job, I think, was controversial. The fact that he did the podcast with Bron, I think, is controversial. I think whoever wants to throw a narrative out there that looks a little funny, hey, whatever, you got a right to do that. But as far as whether or not Darvin Ham should be in place, should still be here, hell no. Hell no. Absolutely not. He was bad. It just is what it is. His skin color don't change that, man. And y'all running narratives about it doesn't change it either. And trying to scream and holler at the top of your lungs at somebody like me is going to serve you not. Because all I'm going to do is play you back my videos. While you out there talking and screaming about that narrative, I'm just going to play you my videos. And you'll see exactly how I felt after every single game that Darvin was coaching. It was a rant every night about something he didn't do right. A rant every night about something not done correctly, one way or another. I fully assessed his coaching performance. And it was time to go, man. A lot sooner than he was let go. So that's what I want people to understand, man. We ain't rolling with that narrative over here. We too informed. So that's really what it comes down to, man. As far as JJ, yeah, we want him to get his act together. We want him to, reel in the troops. But at the same time, that was my criticism of JJ. I think he's great with X's and O's, but I don't know if his personality is going to be able to motivate people. I don't know if he ain't going to be able to if he's not going to push people away with his attitude about certain things. With his way to communicate with people, I don't know if he's going to not rub people the wrong way. That was my criticism before we even hired him. Like, yo, I think he's going to be great with X's and O's, but I'm not so sure he's going to be good with personalities. I don't know that. Just being honest. And the jury's still out on that. I don't really know. That's not where I have all the confidence in JJ. I think he's going to be good in certain areas, but when it comes to that, I thought it was a chance he could lose the locker room. And with this locker room, yeah, especially. So, there's plenty of criticism to go to JJ. I would throw plenty at him. I already have. But as far as me telling us to fire him 25 games into this season with this same sorry-minded lineup that we had these last 2 years, nah, man, he ain't the one that needs to go. It's some of these dudes that need to go. He needs a young team to coach, just like any rookie needs a young team to coach. I've kind of felt the same way about Darvin. So that's really my whole take on that, man. JJ gonna get plenty of smoke. Every time he make a mistake, just like Darvin Ham, I'm gonna call him out. And I have been. But as far as me sitting up here saying, oh, he needs to be fired right now, I can do math, man. 2 years, 25 games. There's a big difference. I can do math. I can think for myself. So that's what I want to say about that, man. That narrative is just, it's lacking a whole lot of critical thinking, or it's insinuating that others should be as they listen to it. It doesn't hold a whole lot of weight. But that's pretty much what I got to say, man. I hope everybody's enjoying themselves. Salute the Kobe Minute. I forgot to do so about 6 minutes ago. But, there's a Hawks video coming at some point. I'll make sure we have it before the game starts. And we got some real shaking up this lineup to do, man. We got some shaking up to do. We got some additions to make. And I hope Rob Pelinka is effective in making some changes. I don't know if it's feasible to make changes or not. I've been the one that always tells people we got to wait on the market. The market doesn't wait on us. And that's just what it is. But we need to find ways of improving this roster in the short term. Either way, even if it means moving some people around in the lineups, starting some people, sitting some people, calling some people up, sending some people down. We got to do that. Because if we continue running these same old sorry-minded individuals, I promise you, it's going to continue to be more of the same. They're going to front run. Some nights they're going to have it. Other nights they not. It's just, at this point, it's already been established. BDL44, I thank y'all for watching. I'm out.